Hello, and welcome to Week 3, Unit 4 of Application Development for SAP Business by Design. In this unit, we'll look at testing with business users. Now, as we develop content in the SAP Cloud Application Studio, we're always using a development user, someone who has the Partner Development Work Center and one or more of the views assigned to that user. If we want to test something, we should try and use a business user, a non-development user, somebody that does not have that Partner Development Work Center. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take a business user in our system. We're going to go ahead and assign the work center for our new bonus plan. And then we're going to be able to go ahead and test and try and make sure that everything is working okay. Now, I'm already in my tenant here under Application User Management for business users. And I have my business user, Kate Jacob. I'm going to go ahead and edit access rights. And I should see my new work center show up in this list. So I can go ahead and assign it to this user. And here it is, bonus plan. I can always be sure by checking again the name, the technical name for my solution. That would be in there as part of my work center name. And you can see here that I only have one view, just the bonus plan view. So I'm going to go ahead and assign that and go ahead and save. And after it's saved, we can close. And then I'll go ahead and log out and log in as this user sales O2P. So let's log out as the admin. And we'll log back in. Sales O2P. Nope, not O, but 02P. Different O. Okay, so here's Kate Jacob, and the user has a number of work centers, and for us, we're looking at bonus plan. And here it is. If I select it, I should see it come up. Here's the owl for it. Notice that there's no data, right, because I haven't created any bonus plans yet. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and say new, and it should bring me to that QAF that we edited and provided some nice look to it. It's going to load up, and then I'll be able to provide the data that I want. What's the ID? So we'll say plan 1 Kate. What's the description? Kate bonus plan 1. Start date we'll put back as April 1st of 2014 through the end of April 30th, maybe. Bonus rate can be 10%. Target amount, let's say it has to be $5,000 US. It's a very low threshold for Kate. And then we'll want to give the employee. So I'm going to go ahead and I can either just type search or select something, and here's Kate Jacob. And it shows me Kate Jacob. And I can see here as I test that I see the ID for Kate and then the name. And maybe I don't necessarily want that. We just wanted the name before. I may not care what the ID is. So I'm going to really quick go back into my solution here, and I'm going to change that. Now with any field where you have an ID and a text like we do in this case, you can choose to have one or the other shown. So if I open my quick activity, I'm going to actually change it. Right now it's selected to say ID and description. And the description was that text, the employee name, the formatted name that we selected. If I select this field again, I have this presentation mode, and I'm going to change that to actually say description only. So now I should just see Kate Jacob, not the ID. Let's save and activate. While that's save and activate, I'm going to go back and go ahead and just hit save. And that should save correctly. It was consistent. That's good. I can test and make sure that, for example, that this, if I try to save, that it throws an error, right? It shouldn't let me have my end date before my start date. And it does. It made that check for me, and it's failed. And I can see that it's not consistent, right? Let's go ahead and change that back. Same with my bonus plan. Maybe I say it's negative 10%. And if I just hit enter this time, it should still trigger modify, and I see bonus rate must not be negative. So that's good. The logic that we put in place is working. I can see that it's doing the checks, it's raising the messages, and that it's filling the association properly, because if it didn't fill the association properly, I wouldn't see that name Kate Jacob. We actually get that from the association, so that's what's showing up. Let's save it and close it. And now if I go ahead and refresh this, I can see here is my Kate Jacob bonus plan, Plan 1 Kate. And if I go and select it and say edit, it'll show up again, and we actually can see our change already, that it just shows Kate Jacob as the name. One other change I see that is that it shows this details, object name, and ID description. I don't really want that. It's the opportunity that for any selected row in a table, you can show some details down below. And for now, I don't really need that. So I'm going to go back into my UI Designer, and I'm going to open up in the Configuration Explorer, find my owl. And let's open that up. And go back to the Properties view, and I can see that details down here. So this is what's called the preview pane, and I don't really need the preview pane. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find within here my list view or pane variant, and I'm going to say use preview pane to false. So I don't need the preview pane for my advanced list pane variant here, and it's going to hide it away. And I'll save and activate that. Maybe at a later time, once I've added a little more, I might show it. So now I can actually see my view. That looks good. I'll know that this is gone, and so far I think this is looking really, really good. I can continue to make tweaks based on what I test with, but I'm able to create new data and edit it and save and see that my checks are in place. And that's how we can test with the business user. And so I'll continue this process. Now that I have it assigned, I don't need to keep reassigning to this user. I can just go ahead and keep making changes. If I have any new Work Center views or work centers, I'll want to assign those. But the views that I have here, I can continue to modify and then test with the same business user. So we were able to assign it to this user, go ahead and perform the checks that we want, and with this business user, be able to create and update data. That's it for this unit. In the next unit, we'll look at extensibility of standard business objects. Thank you.